Like I said, today's presentation is on statement marketing campaigns and how you can transform your statements into effective one-to-one marketing campaigns. So we're going to talk about how to do that, and I'm going to give you several examples and show you some real-life campaigns that some of our clients run on a regular basis. For those of you who aren't familiar with LKCS, our focus is really over the last 10 years on utilizing technology to help our customers, get better marketing results through a variety of solutions. And obviously our statement processing solutions are an important part of what we do, but it's one piece, of a much larger set of solutions that we offer. But we're going to be talking today again about statements and how to actually turn those into one-to-one marketing campaigns and how we use some of the different tools, that are on your screen at the moment to accomplish that. So when we talk about statement marketing, what we're talking about is a term in the industry called statement marketing or Transpromo statement marketing. And Transpromo is a compound expression formed by the words transaction and promotional. So it's, what we're doing with Transpromo marketing is that we're combining your transactional mail, your statements, with promotional messages and targeted promotional messages. So we're piggybacking, ads and personalized messages right on the statements. And we're doing that by looking at the data that's on the statement and other data sources, to identify specific, business opportunities and cross-sell opportunities for you. The nice thing with Transpromo is it's very, very inexpensive, and we'll talk about that more as we go, but it does give you the opportunity to take advantage of really free postage. You can include this advertising with your statements at no additional postage cost. Recently, as you know, postage rates went up by about a penny, but interestingly, the post office made a decision that all mail between 1 and 2 ounces now mails at the 1 ounce rate. So, including additional materials with your statements, where before it could have, potentially caused you to go over an ounce in postage with multiple page statements, and, when you're including newsletters and other statement stuffers and things like that, that becomes much less of a concern now because your statements can weigh up to 2 ounces and still mail at the 1 ounce rate. So, even when we talk about some of the options here that include an additional sheet of paper and some other things like that, weight is no longer a factor, as far as cost goes. So, we can talk about that, certainly along the way. But one of the key features of Transpromo statement marketing that we'll talk about quite a bit in this presentation is your ability to add graphical statement ads, otherwise called Onserts, directly on your statements. And as we talk more about that, I think it's important to show you a few examples. So here are 3 statements, actually 2 statements and 1 daily notice for one of our clients. And you'll see that we have the ability to incorporate, ads specific to a certain campaign. We can include forms and different things like this loan payment coupon for IAA credit union. That's not necessarily a marketing or advertising piece, but obviously there's significant value to both the credit union and to the member in this case, and having a personalized loan payment coupon always appear at the bottom of the first page of the statement, and we can incorporate those onto other materials as well, as you can see with that daily notice. Here are some larger views of different Onserts. Again, these images, these ads can be very graphical. Obviously, they can, have different fonts and pictures and, graphics and all sorts of things. They can be personalized. They can be any size, and we'll talk about that more. So most common, on the left-hand side, you're seeing some smaller ads that appear at the bottom of the page. We have even smaller Onserts that we print at the top of the statement next to where the member's address is. And on the right-hand side, you're actually seeing an ad that took up about half a page or 2/3 of a page for one of our customers. So they can be any size, and you have a lot of flexibility on how you use them. We're going to talk about more about how to use them in certain situations, but a lot of times I get questions about, well, do people, even look at their statements anymore? Do they see these ads? So, obviously that's a hard question to answer. I don't have any specific hard numbers. We can survey clients and we can survey account holders and try to find that out. But I rely on some industry information. to answer that. And I want to preface this, I guess, by saying that I don't necessarily believe all of these numbers, but this is, these are from very reliable sources. So, just over a year ago, or 2 years ago, excuse me, the Postal Service surveyed, quite a few of their customers, and they found out that 95% of people read their statements at least once. InfoPrint, which is an organization comprised of both Ricoh and IBM, and keep in mind that Ricoh makes laser printers and IBM sells software to generate statements, so they are somewhat slighted as well, but they found that 83% of their survey respondents always open bank statements in the mail. And in 2010, Pitney Bowes came out with a survey, and Pitney Bowes makes mailing equipment. They reported that 73% of people open and read financial bank statements right away. So, again, I don't necessarily believe these numbers, but even if they're off by half, so, if instead of 95%, 45% of people read their statements, that's still significantly higher than the typical direct mail campaign. So I do think that statements are still being read, and we can see with e-statements that people are looking at their e-statements on a regular basis as well. And we'll talk more about how e-statements fit into the mix in a few minutes. So, once we see that people are reading their statements and looking at their statements, do they pay any attention to these ads? And this is something where we do know from feedback from our clients that they do. But another survey from Zoomerang and InfoPrint showed that 64% of the people that they surveyed actually would use personalized coupons that are printed directly onto their bills and statements, which is significantly higher than statement inserts, and other ways of including materials with your statements. When you compare that 64%, and again, maybe it's off by a factor, by a half, so it's only 30% or 35%, but, you compare that to what the Direct Marketing Association says, is average responses, for direct mail campaigns sent out by banks and credit unions, and that's showing between 1 and 2% or 1 and 2.6% on average results. So obviously you can see that these ads, these onserts can pull, much higher response rates than direct mail campaigns in some cases. So the point that I'm trying to make is that these onserts printed on your statements will get read. And as I mentioned earlier, these statement onserts can be any size. So, you're not limited to just those small ads at the bottom of the page, but you can even do full page statement letters, we call them, where, we really are, in this case, turning the statement into a direct mail campaign. This is actually the first page of this credit union statement, with all of the transactions and account information appearing on subsequent pages. But they chose for a subset of their members, in this case, to use the first page of their statements, as a back-to-school skip-a-pay promotion. We've used this for pre-screened, credit offers. We've done it for referral campaigns. Obviously, skip-a-pays, as you see here. We have customers that welcome new members with these types of personalized letters, every month. And again, those are just a few ideas about how you can use these, and we'll give you several others as we move through the presentation. But keep in mind, this is done, with no extra postage, as we talked about earlier. The average cost for our customers to print another statement page is about 4.2 cents. So for 4 cents for the cost of laser printing a piece of paper, you can transform those statements into true direct marketing pieces and get the value out of that postage that you're spending. All of the things that LKCS can do with paper statements, we can also do with e-statements. So as we talk about, these onserts, and you can see another small skip-a-pay ad at the bottom, a small first mortgage ad, or onsert at the top of the e-statement here. These same offers are printed on the statements. The nice thing with electronic statements is color doesn't cost anymore. Printing technology is obviously getting less and less expensive, but it is still significantly more expensive to print a piece of paper in color than it is to print a piece of paper in black. But on on a computer screen, it doesn't cost any more to display a color image than it does a black and white image. So you have that ability to present these statement onserts in full color. And obviously, when you're looking at the image that's on your screen, your eye isn't necessarily jumping to the statement data. It's jumping to the top or bottom of that page where that full color graphic, that full color ad is. So they do have a lot of impact even with e-statements. And just so you know, when we talk about e-statements, there's even more marketing opportunities than just the onserts. So, obviously when you're sending out e-statements now, you're sending out an email notification typically letting members know when their latest statement is available. Well, we encourage you to customize that email, and make sure that even that email notification goes out, and it includes information about your latest marketing campaigns and your current promotions, so that even if members don't click on the link to actually view their e-statement, they're still getting marketing information from you just in that email. With your printed statements, you're typically incorporating, or including a statement insert or a newsletter or some other material in that envelope. Well, you can do the same thing with e-statements through the use of banner ads. So you can display banner ads that appear with your e-statement, and those banner ads then link to PDFs of those statement inserts. They link to web pages on your site. They link to online applications, all sorts of different things. We can even create an interactive version of your reconciliation form, so that if a member wanted to balance their checkbook, they could even do that all online directly from your e-statement. And some of the newer things that we have the capability to do, and other e-statement vendors are beginning to do as well, is to have targeted landing pages, what's called overlays, or even the hover ads that appear over the e-statement content. So when members first go to the page to view their e-statement, they're presented with additional marketing opportunities. It's similar to when you click on a link to watch a video, or a news story or something from one of the news providers, and you're presented with that little video, that plays before you can actually get to that content. You can do a similar thing with your e-statements if you'd like to. Everything that we've talked about so far, the inserts that I've shown, are really, what I call one-time use ads. You have a current promotion, you develop an ad for it, you put it on your statements and you send it out. I'm a big proponent of marketing automation, and I think there's a lot of different ways that you can actually use, statement marketing and Transpromo ads and different things like that on an ongoing basis, where you can truly set it and forget it. You can put something in motion, put it in place, and know that that ad's going to work for you month after month, and that marketing concept's going to work for you month after month. And there's a lot of different special opportunities that we can find within your statements to make that happen. And by doing this, we are really doing one-to-one marketing, because we're looking for specific conditions for members and for their accounts that would trigger these onserts to print on their statements, while other members get different onserts. So, not everybody has to have the same combination of onserts, just like people don't have to have the same combination of statement inserts. So some different campaigns that you can run, and these can run concurrently, is obviously we can have a statement onsert or a statement letter that gets sent to your new members. When members have CDs that are coming due in, say, the next quarter, we can print information about current CD rates, or different campaigns to hold on to those certificates if you need that. Obviously, as loan payoffs are getting close to paying off a loan, we can thank the member for their loan and encourage them to visit the credit union for their next loan. We can do things like auto loan recapture, where we're looking for auto loans that may have been on the books for, close to 3 years, and before, that member trades that vehicle in, because most people unfortunately don't wait to pay that loan off. They trade their vehicle in before the loan is due. Well, we have the option to look at the age of those loans, or the balance remaining on those loans, and begin to promote, auto loans to those members before they pay the loan off. I'll show you an example coming up of a birthday message. So, just a way to show a member that you care is just to print a small little happy birthday onsert on their statements. We talked about the loan payment coupons. We can take another look at those, but more and more of our customers obviously are printing loan payment coupons directly on the statement, whether it's on the first page or the last page of the statement, and that's saving them, obviously the cost of generating separate payment books, changing those payment books when the prime rate changes, all sorts of different things like that, and it's very convenient for the member knowing that every statement they're going to get is going to include that next loan payment coupon, tell them exactly what the due date is, what the payment amount is, those types of things. We can set campaigns and different ads for your kids clubs and your teens clubs and your seniors clubs. If part of your strategic plan is to grow by merger and acquisition, we can have statement ads put in place, to welcome, new members that come in from other financial institutions. If segs are a large part of your base, we can welcome new segs. We can send send offers to different seg groups, all sorts of different things. We can look for all sorts of cross-sell opportunities. Obviously we can look for people that don't have a checking account, and, or have a certain combination of accounts but not a different account, and trigger these ads on an ongoing basis based on that type of information. We can also have a series of onserts that are printed onto member statements over a period of different months or different quarters, designed to cross-sell. So if you're familiar with matrix mailing campaigns and formal onboarding campaigns, things like that, that's the same type of thing that we can do with our statement onserts. So we can set a series of these onserts so that one prints, each month or each quarter for the next, so many months or quarters. And it's a terrific way to cross-sell new members. It's a terrific, again, solution for mergers and acquisitions, because now, you can continue this cross-sell process for these new members over a period of time. Same thing with new segs. Anytime you expand a field of membership, there's all sorts of opportunities for these matrix mailings. And I'll actually show you in some detail how one of our clients is using this to reach out to new members. And you can have multiple matrices running at the same time. So, you can have a matrix in place for new members. You can have a matrix in place for, a new seg. When you sign up a new seg, those members are getting their set of onserts, while anybody else who joins the credit union is getting their set of onserts. And the people who don't fit into either one of those two groups, they're getting the onsert relating to your latest promotion. So there's all sorts of options when we set these types of campaigns up. I'm actually going to show you one of our credit unions, North Star Credit Union, and what they're doing. And I'm going to actually go through their little matrix here. I'll blow this up in a second and show you much more detail. And I'll even show you what their statement onserts look like. One of the things that I really like is that each of their onserts that I show you includes a specific offer, so it's very measurable for them. I'm going to enlarge this so that you can see it on your screen, and I'll walk you through because it's not as complicated as it looks. But what you're seeing is it says existing members, but these are new members that are going into the top of the matrix. So a member first joins the credit union, they enter the beginning of the matrix, and we start to look at certain conditions and make certain decisions. So in this case, obviously, we only want to market, to people that are over age 16, is what this credit union was looking for. Some credit unions obviously say over age 18, but whatever age you want. So in this example, we're looking for people over age 18. If they're not over age 18, you'll see it's the end of the matrix. They're not going to get any onserts. Maybe if it was under age 16, we could print a kids club onsert or different things like that. In this case, they're not getting anything. But if they are over age 16, this credit union is looking right away to see if they have a checking account. And if they don't have a checking account, they're going to get an onsert promoting checking accounts. You'll see on the right I have different, I had given them different ideas for offers to include, and I'll show you, what the offers are that they chose to use and what the onserts look like. If the member does have a checking account, then they're going to get an information about online services and how they can, use the internet to obviously continue to doing business with the credit union. And if they did have a check, or if they did not have a checking account, they would get this onsert with the next statement that they receive. After that, after the online services Onsert, we're actually going to start marketing loans, and in this case I'm going to even bump that age 16 up to age 21, and I'm going to look for members with credit scores over 700. This particular credit union actually runs credit scores for all new members, so they have that information, but LKCS can also append credit score information and any type of credit data to your member lists if you need that. So we can actually use actual credit data to trigger these types of offers also. But in this case, if the member is under 21 or if their credit score is not over 700, they would only get 1 or 2 of those Onserts and they wouldn't see any more on their statements. But if they are over 21 and have a credit score over 700, we're going to look and see if they have an auto loan. If they don't have an auto loan with the credit union, we'll send them an auto loan Onsert, and so forth. We'll look next for a home equity loan or a HELOC, and this can go on through different products and services. But in this, this is a fairly simple example. They've actually modified this matrix since and have added a couple of Onserts because the program has been so successful for them, actually asking new members, who have been members for about 6 months or so to refer, family and friends and things like that to the credit union. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So actually what you're seeing on the screen now these are samples of the actual Onserts that North Star Credit Union uses. And what I like is those reverse boxes, those black boxes. They all include a specific offer that's only available to members on these inserts. So, it's easy for them to track internally, and we also use our DataFlex system to track the results of these Onserts and their other marketing campaigns on an ongoing basis. But I really like what this credit union is doing with the Onserts, and they have found it to be extremely successful. I can't actually share the specific results with you, but we do measure for North Star how many new accounts are opened, what balances those accounts carry, what new services are added, all as a result of these matrices. So we keep track of which members receive which Onserts, and then over a period of time, we can see after they receive that Onsert, have they opened that account or have they added that service. And because of the very low cost of running these types of campaigns, this campaign easily pays for itself over and over and over again. We've actually had a couple of clients switch from doing direct mail-based matrix-type campaigns to statement-based campaigns, both because they're effective and also because the cost is lower, because they're saving those postage expenses. We can also do, as I was alluding to earlier, credit-based Transpromo marketing. So this is where we can start to use some of our credit alerting solutions or credit prospecting solutions to determine exactly which members would be eligible, for a pre-screen type offer. So this is where, we can pre-approve a member for a loan. We can, tell a member they're pre-selected or pre-qualified for a specific loan offer, and we can incorporate those loan offers directly into the statements. And again, these can be the small Onserts at the bottom of the page or full statement letters. And to give you an idea what those look like, I'll actually show that to you in a moment. But the idea of this credit prospecting is that we are extending these pre-approved offers of credit. The only way that we can access the credit information is if we're actually going to extend an offer of credit. So I can't just run, and get credit information for members and then actually use it to promote a loan to them. So I have to specifically offer them a loan. But you have the ability to set the criteria that meet your underwriting guidelines. So you would identify, what the minimum FICO score is, and if it's a home loan, what the LTV is. We can obviously look back at credit history and make sure there's no late payments in the last, say 12 months. There's no bankruptcies on file, those types of things. And then we can either send direct mail to these members or, obviously, like we're talking about here, include them as statement Onserts. Pricing depends on a whole bunch of different things. So it depends on the number of records, the different demographics and things like that. But if you're interested in actually doing credit-based marketing, get in touch with me and we can certainly run list counts and give you cost estimates, at absolutely no charge. But to give you an idea of the types of campaigns that our clients are running with credit prospecting, there are 3 specific offers that I want to show you that, and again, these can run concurrently at the same time. So the first example that I'm going to share with you is what we call a first-time home buyers offer. So in this case, we're identifying the credit union's members who are renters, and then we're going to qualify them based on their credit score and other credit parameters that meet, again, your lending guidelines. The second offer that we're going to discuss is a revolving debt or a credit card debt reduction offer. In this case, we're sending specifically to homeowners that have available equity in their house, over whatever amount you specify, that have revolving debt, credit card debt over whatever amount you specify. And again, further qualifying the members that are going to receive this offer based on credit score and their credit history and things like that. And the final offer, and again, these can run all at the same time, is just a general home equity offer. So again, these are sent to homeowners, that don't have a home equity loan or HELOC with you, that have available equity over a certain amount, and again, meet your credit conditions. And this is an example of what those offers can look like. So this is a full, these are 2 full cover letters, for different members. The one on the left is the general home equity loan offer. And the one on the the one on the left is the credit card debt reduction offer. The one on the right is the general home equity offer. But you can see that that they're much, that the offer is clearly made. This is truly taking that statement and turning it into a direct mail campaign for you. Other Transpromo marketing options that aren't necessarily as technical include the ability to print ads either on the front or back of your statements. And this type of envelope backprinting, obviously, as many of you know, is very, very inexpensive. You have the opportunity to print these ads on the back of your envelopes, and it's really impossible to open an envelope without looking at the back of it. And we charge about $10.50 per thousand to print an ad on the back of the statement. So it's just over a penny a piece. It's very, very inexpensive. And we even provide our clients with a series of designs to choose from each quarter. You can either use one of those designs, or we'd be happy to custom design an envelope ad for you. So that's just one other option that you have with statement marketing. One of the things that we found is these envelope ads and even Onserts are a great way to promote e-statements. And keep in mind that we can, print an e-statement ad on a paper statement, and the members with e-statements can either have a different ad or no ad on their statements. So there's all sorts of, again, different opportunities to use these types of solutions. And that's all I had. So those are, a lot of food for thought, I guess. I will be available to answer any questions that you have, but please feel free to contact me at any time, and I'd be happy to go through this with you in more detail, discuss your specific statements, and discuss specific opportunities for you. So please reach out to me at any time.